What's up, you fucking jerks? I'm going to do a video right now, and I know, I didn't start it out with a video. You know why? Because you don't laugh at me. I'm not your monkey. Here it goes. This video is going to be things you should know when you're a wrestling fan. Now, the first #1 rule that everybody should know to be a wrestling fan is that it is not real. Face it, it does not take skill to win a fake match. Do you know what it takes? It takes ass-kissing, steroids, and a lot of luck. And another thing, it doesn't matter how long you've been watching, it matters how smart you've been watching. Somebody who's been watching for 5 years could know just as much as someone that's been watching for 10 to 15 years. I mean, if they've been watching smarter than they have, and they've not been watching as smart as the other guy, the guy who's been watching for 5 years could very well know as much as the other guy, or even more. I mean, take me for example. I've been watching wrestling for a good like 6 years. I haven't been watching that long, you know. But I mean, ever since I was like 12. It's been like 3 years for about 3 years now. I've been obsessed with becoming a wrestler, and I study matches. I don't watch. I study them, and I can see the littlest flaw in the match. But I also have the fan perspective, the fan factor. I see through the eyes of both the wrestler and the fan, which I try to, as much as I want to be serious about being a wrestler, I try to keep that fan alive, because people always seem to think that being a mark is a bad thing. No, it's called having fun. You know, it's just what makes being a wrestling fan so great. Being a mark is not a bad thing. #3, third point. You gotta know your options. If WWE is not entertaining you, then watch other companies, such as Chikara, Dragon Gate, ROH, PWG, and I'm sure there's a lot more. No, stuff like that. I mean, and this is also a great way to keep track of stars on the rise, such as people like CM Punk, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and much more. All these people made a name for themselves in the indie scene before they moved to the bigger companies like WWE and TNA. Another thing is, it's good to be open-minded. You know, people change in the wrestling world. You know, whenever some people come in, they could be the stalest person in the world, but they could make in-ring improvements and become great. A good example of this is the Big Show. I mean, whenever the Big Show came in, many people just pegged him as a bad worker. But towards the end there, whenever he was in ECW, I mean, he showed some major improvements. I mean, the improvements that he made could be showcased in matches like the very match he won the ECW title against RVD. It's a great match. That's on YouTube. Find it, watch it. It's a good match. Big Show worked his ass off. It was a great match, exciting. You know, it was just a good match. Great ring psychology, just perfect. Moving on. Know the difference between a power wrestler and a strongman. I've heard countless people say Batista is a good power wrestler, and this could not be further from the truth. One of the best power wrestlers in wrestling today will have to be, I'll say, El Macias, or Judas Macias. He has such a great mix of ring psychology, ground and pound, and can even do the fast, hard-hitting style. I mean, it really sucked when he got injured, because I was so ready for, having seen his AAA stuff, so ready for people to just be raving about him with his feud with Abyss and everything. I thought that they were going to have some great matches together. I mean, now into a subject similar, people sometimes mistake flippers or spot monkeys for good high flyers. For example, Good high flyers include Brian Pillman, Dragon Kid, Rey Mysterio in his early days. All these people are not bound to their high flying moves. Um, they're not bound to their spots. They're not bound to their high flying moves. It's just the style they choose. The definition of a spot monkey to me is a wrestler who is bound to his spots and high flying moves and is not is lost without them. Um, if you can't go out there and have a good match taken away from your spots and your high flying stuff like that, that makes you a spot monkey. Alright, that's pretty much the video. I'll have to get a Raw review soon whenever it uploads on Dailymotion, somewhere on the internet where I could find it and watch. It was a great show. I marked out like 15 times. Just a great, great Raw. We saw Gangrel. We saw Marty Jannetty. We saw $1 Million Man, which was just awesome. Just paid the guy off to jump over the rope. It was funny. I'll see you next time. Take it easy.